The world of digital photography has always been defined by incremental refinement and innovation, where flagship models evolve to meet the demands of both professionals and passionate creators. With the introduction of the Hasselblad X2D II, the legendary camera manufacturer has once again raised the bar for what a medium format system can deliver. This new iteration builds upon the already celebrated X2D II, enhancing nearly every area that photographers had previously wished for: autofocus, stabilization, ergonomics, display functionality, and overall versatility. Accompanying this launch is the brand new XCD35 to 100mm lens, a versatile zoom that pairs seamlessly with the X2D II body. Together, they represent one of the most complete medium format setups that Hasselblad has ever released. In this article, I'll walk through everything that makes this release significant: the design refinements, new hardware, autofocus advancements, stabilization improvements, image quality upgrades, and of course, the lens that might just be the most practical in Hasselblad's growing lineup. Refining the flagship original X2D II made waves with its 100-megapixel sensor, Hasselblad natural color science, and elegant design. It was admired not just as a tool, but as a piece of photographic art. Yet, like all first-generation products, it had its quirks and areas where photographers wanted just a little more. The X2D II feels like the answer to that wish list. This isn't a complete reinvention, but rather a refinement and evolution that makes the system more practical, more comfortable, and more capable in both studio and on-the-go scenarios. Subtle but important design changes. First thing you notice when handling the X2D II is its updated finish. Gone is the stark matte black that defined the earlier model. In its place is a sleek dark gray magnesium finish that strikes a balance between modern subtlety and professional elegance. The black lettering provides contrast without screaming for attention, and overall, the camera retains the iconic minimalism that Hasselblad is known for. Several new physical details enhance usability. On the front, there is now a customizable button, giving photographers quick access to functions they rely on most. Beside it sits a small autofocus illuminator and selfie countdown lamp, a surprising addition for a brand that has long been associated with studio setups and deliberate compositions. While a countdown indicator might sound unnecessary for a system like this, it shows Hasselblad's recognition that modern photographers use their cameras in more varied ways than ever before. Another improvement is the magnetic side cover, which feels premium while also protecting ports with simplicity. Then there's the new 3.6-inch OLED display. Not only does it feature a wide color gamut and a brightness of 2400 nits for visibility and challenging lighting, but it also introduces a much-needed tilting mechanism. The screen can tilt 90 upwards and 43 downwards, and it can even be pulled outward to clear the viewfinder, essential for more flexible shooting angles. One of the most requested features also makes its debut here: a 5-direction joystick for navigating menus and controlling the focus point. It might seem like a small addition, but for real-world use, this dramatically improves handling speed. Combined with a more tactile grip, the ergonomics of the X2D have been refined in exactly the right places. The body is still hefty, especially with the large new zoom lens attached, but it's now much easier to hold securely during extended shoots. A leap forward in autofocus. Autofocus has historically been a weak spot for medium format cameras. These systems have always prioritized image quality and sensor size over speed, often leaving autofocus performance behind compared to smaller full-frame and APS-C competitors. The original X2D was no exception: usable, but not exactly industry-leading. The X2D II changes that narrative. Hasselblad has introduced a hybrid autofocus system that blends phase detection (PDF), contrast detection (CDF), and LiDAR-assisted AF into one cohesive experience. The result is a camera that can not only lock onto static subjects with precision, but also track moving subjects continuously, something that medium-format shooters have long dreamed of. With 425 phase detection points and deep learning-based subject recognition, the camera can now identify and follow people, vehicles, and other objects in real time. This makes it suitable for action, events, and fast-paced environments where medium format traditionally struggled. Photographers who once relied solely on manual focus with these systems now have an autofocus engine that competes with the best in its class. Stabilization that redefines medium format. The large sensors in medium format cameras demand excellent stabilization, especially when shooting handheld at slower shutter speeds. The original X2D introduced 7 stops of in-body image stabilization IBIS, a strong feature for its class. The X2D II takes this to another level with a 5-axis, 10-stop IBIS system. This isn't just an incremental upgrade, it's a transformative one. At 100 megapixels, even the slightest shake can ruin a shot. But with this stabilization, handheld long exposures and sharp results are now reliably achievable. For photographers working in low light, or for those who want to leave the tripod behind without sacrificing sharpness, this improvement is monumental. It also pairs perfectly with the enhanced autofocus system, ensuring that when you press the shutter, the result is tack sharp nearly every time. Image quality and HD are innovation at its core. The X2D II remains a 100 megapixel medium format camera, but several refinements push image quality further. The sensor now delivers a 15.3 stop dynamic range, slightly higher than its predecessor, enabling better shadow recovery and highlight retention. Perhaps the most groundbreaking feature, though, is that this is the first medium format camera with end-to-end in-camera HDR processing. That means the camera doesn't just capture bracketed exposures, it can also merge, generate, and preview HDR results directly on the body before you even import into an editing application. This streamlined workflow is a game-changer for photographers who demand efficiency without compromising quality. Hasselblad's natural color solution HNCS remains central, producing lifelike, painterly tones that the brand has become famous for. Whether capturing landscapes, portraits, or product photography, the colors out of the camera are both rich and true to life, reducing reliance on heavy post-production. The new X2D 35-100mm lens, of course, a camera body is only as good as the glass attached to it. Alongside the X2D II, Hasselblad introduced the X2D 35-100mm zoom lens, which may be the most versatile addition to their lens ecosystem to date. This is no lightweight lens, it's substantial in both size and build, but its utility is undeniable. With a focal range equivalent to 28 to 76 mm in full-frame terms, it covers the wide to standard zoom spectrum that most photographers rely on daily. The aperture ranges from f/.8 to f/4, and in medium format, even f/4 provides an impressively shallow depth of field. What makes this lens shine is how it complements the new autofocus system. It features an SDM motor, making it the fastest focusing lens Hasselblad has ever released. Combined with the body's enhanced AFN stabilization, this lens transforms the system into something far more versatile than any medium format setup before it. For photographers who typically lean on primes, the 35-100mm provides a refreshing all-in-one solution. It's part of Hasselblad's growing holy trinity of zooms, sitting alongside the X2D 20-35mm ultra-wide zoom. With this pair, Hasselblad shooters can now cover nearly every focal length needed without sacrificing quality, software, and connectivity. No modern camera system is complete without thoughtful software integration. The Hasselblad Focus Mobile 2 app has been updated to work hand-in-hand with the X2D II. Not only does it allow for remote camera control, but it also supports HDR preview and editing directly within the app. Whether working with RAW, JPEG, or Ultra HDR JPEG files, the app provides a surprisingly robust editing environment. Features like noise reduction and HDR optimization are built in, giving photographers more flexibility on the go before importing into desktop workflows. Real-world experience taking the X2D II and the 35-100mm lens into real-world shooting scenarios reveals just how much Hasselblad has refined the system. The ergonomic improvements make the camera far more comfortable for extended handheld use. The autofocus system, while not as lightning fast as some mirrorless full-frame cameras, is a massive leap forward for medium format. Colors remain Hasselblad's hallmark, rich, nuanced, and natural. With the stabilization improvements, handheld long exposures become not just possible but reliable, expanding creative opportunities. And the ability to preview HDR results in camera or via the mobile app means less guesswork and more efficiency. Who should consider this camera? The Hasselblad X2D II is not a casual shooter's tool. It remains an investment piece for photographers who demand the highest image quality, iconic design, and a shooting experience that inspires creativity. For studio professionals, the refinements to ergonomics, autofocus, and stabilization will enhance workflow and expand creative flexibility. For travel and landscape photographers, the combination of portability, HDR processing, and stunning color science makes it one of the most rewarding cameras available. And for existing Hasselblad users, this upgrade feels like the camera you were hoping the original X2D would be. Final thoughts: Hasselblad X2D II is not a revolution, it is a carefully considered refinement that addresses every major limitation of its predecessor. From the redesigned grip to the tilting old, from the improved autofocus to the industry-first in-camera HDR workflow, Hasselblad has listened to feedback and delivered a camera that feels complete. The new XCD35 to 100mm lens is equally exciting, offering a versatile, fast, and optically superb solution that perfectly complements the flagship body. Together, they form a system that makes medium format more practical and enjoyable than ever before. For those already invested in Hasselblad, the X2D II feels like a worthy upgrade. For those considering stepping into the world of medium format, this is perhaps the most versatile entry point, yet a camera that blends legendary image quality with modern usability. The refinement is not just in specs or numbers, but in the overall experience, a camera that feels familiar yet undeniably improved, classic yet forward-thinking. Hasselblad has once again proven why it remains one of the most respected names in photography.